Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video. It was a long time coming today, but they finally released the next clip for the newest card reveals. And yeah, going to get Leblanc here as a champion. I expect her to have reputation just like Sivir and be kind of a synergistic champion with Sivir. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the video.
Best lies are beautiful.
Leblanc leads from the shadows. All right, Leblanc, 3 cost, quick attack, a 5/2, huge attack stat for a 3 cost unit here. Only 2 health though, so pretty susceptible to a lot of spells, especially I kind of have the feeling that we're going to enter into something of a control meta unless something is super powerful. But yeah, I could see a control meta coming up here with a lot of the cards that have been revealed so far. Kindred, Lissandra. Shadow Isles itself is kind of turning into a somewhat a control deck. So anyway, we got Leblanc here, 5/2, 2. I don't know. I think we're going to be able to control it. I don't know how good this card is going to be. I've seen you deal 15 plus damage. So again, very similar to Sivir. The difference for LeBlanc is that she needs to be on the board to level up.
Places to go, people to be.
Quick attack. Yeah, very similar to Sivir.
Surprised to see me. Are you certain? I've been expecting.
All right, a 4 cost fast speed spell, Bloody Business. An ally with 5 or more power strikes an enemy. Oh, this is interesting. 5 or more power strikes an enemy. Interesting. Wow, they're almost putting in more synergy for dragons and Noxus, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now there is a stipulation that you have to have 5 or more power, but a lot of this can be if you are in dragons, right? Shyvana comes out as a 4/4. You can use this on her attacking phase. She gets to be a 5/5. They've introduced also Dragon Chow, which I guess would power up the. Well, that wouldn't work, I guess. Anyway, she doesn't have Fury level 1, so she wouldn't become a 5/5. But on her attack phase, she does become a 5/5. So you could use this after she attacks, when you attack or after she attacks. So kind of cool. Some potential dragon synergy here. Costs quite a bit though.
I am everywhere.
For a strike. Interesting level up animation there. I don't know, that seemed kind of weak compared to others that we've seen. Let's go ahead and watch it one more time.
I am everywhere.
There's a rose in her something.
I am everyone.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay. Could be a little better. All right, quick attack again, 3 cost. Each time I see you deal 15 or more damage, create a mirror image in hand. If you already have one, reduce its cost by 1 instead. So kind of similar to how Zoe's spell works, right? If you hit the Nexus like multiple times, it just ends up reducing the spell that she creates. This one is every time you see 15 or more damage. So let's see what if we've got mirror image coming up here.
I whisper truth into lies. What's
Black Rose Spy, 2 cost. Reputation again. So here's the reputation synergy. So when I'm summoned, transform me into an exact copy of the strongest ally that struck this round. So reputation, remember on the Sivir video, you have to have 4 allies deal 5 or more damage throughout the course of the game. So this is a 2-drop, but it's not a 2-drop because you're not going to be able to get reputation until later on in the game. Reputation seems kind of weak to me, to be honest, at the moment. Unless we get a lot more synergy with these cards with LeBlanc, I don't know that I really see Reputation being a super strong archetype without a little bit more support for its cards. This is just coming out a little bit too late. I mean, we could so this could be an investment card, right? This is an epic card too. Keep that in mind. So definitely an investment card. So we end up including something like heavy overwhelm units at the end of the game, and then we can fill our board with some with some overwhelmed units with more of these Black Rose spies. But we have to sacrifice the ability to play this early on in the game. Actually, I guess it's not too bad though. A 3/2, that's a pretty basic stat line for a 2-drop, so we don't necessarily get a whole lot of there's not a downside to playing this before, other than not getting the unit later on in the game. I mean, it can block into decent things. So actually, I don't think it's too bad. If you're going strictly for a reputation deck. Now, it doesn't have a lot of things that it can do, you know, as a turn 2 play. And it loses all of its ability value once you play it, but maybe we could, you know, pair it with some recall decks later on. I don't know.
Secrets do you
Seems
bring
okay
me?
though for a
Whispers of
3/2.
rose blooming in the desert.
Potential for some good upside as well, and it can change into champions too. We just saw that. Let's say what that was.
Right where
Deal 2 damage to anything.
where I want you.
I didn't see how much it was. We'll have to look at Mobilytics here in a second. Mirror
Smoke
image.
and
Summon an
mirrors.
exact ephemeral copy. So this is what she's producing, right? Summon an exact ephemeral copy of an ally with 5 or more power. Ooh, interesting again. Summon an exact ephemeral copy of an ally with 5 or more power. So there are some conditions here. So the first one is that, well, this is like a token card only, it looks like. It doesn't have the thing at the bottom. Or maybe it's just because they're using it as the token card. I don't know. We'll see in Mobilytics once again. But we do have some limitations here. We have to have a 5 power unit on the board in order to use this. And it's a slow speed spell. So there's potential to interact with it and stop it from going through. I think if you kill the unit, I imagine we'll kill the unit that's being that's being targeted, right, to copy. That will probably stop it. Yeah, notify, deny, anything like that. So seems interesting though. It's ephemeral though, so it doesn't last.
Seeing double.
That's kind of a cool spell.
My move. Another rose for the garden.
Let's look at that again real quick. Summon an exact ephemeral copy of an ally. Yeah, I don't know.
My move. Another rose for the
How about
garden.
that for like Hecarim synergy? Because isn't that really just a... I mean, so it costs 2, right? But like, I know that everyone likes the Dawn and Dusk Hecarim combo at the end of games. That's a 6 mana play where you get 2 copies. This is a 2 mana play for 1, so I could see some potential synergy with that, with a Hecarim deck. That could be kind of cool. We get ephemerals in there too, so some ephemeral synergy too. That seems kind of cool. A potential use, another use for Hecarim. All right, let's go over to Mobilytics and see all of the cards. All right, we got the rest of the cards here. It has been a long day, and now like tomorrow, saying the next card reveals are going to be at 9:10 a.m. on March 1st. I have no idea what's been going on recently. Feel like this one got delayed, but that's enough about that. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of these cards. There was 10 of them, and it looks like some of them were token cards. So I don't have a lot of hope for reputation. I'm going to come down here. All right, Leblanc. Now after kind of seeing the mirror image, we're creating a free mirror image every time we get fit. We've dealt 15 or more attack. How hard is that going to be to do? Or I don't know. We've got this strike that seems a little bit overpriced for what we get from it. How is this better than single combat or just matching like this reputation mechanic with Demacia? I see them wanting to combine it with Shurima, which allows us to now have strikes outside of Demacia, but like, man, that just costs, like, compared to single combat where you can use any unit you want to attack, this one you've got limits. You have to have a 5 power unit. It just seems so much worse than single combat. This is 1 less than Concerted Strike, and that's a lot better spell. All right, Leblanc, Sigil of Malice. Reputation I cost 1, deal 2 to anything. All right, so this was that card that we saw 4 cost. A 4 cost. So in order for this to deal to be better than Mystic Shot, we have to have hit Reputation. Man, these cards, this Reputation is actually one of the hardest, I think, archetypes to evaluate because we have absolutely no idea how easy or hard it's going to be to get those 5 damage procs. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. It depends on how well we can preserve our units, and a lot of these guys, they don't have hardly any health, so it almost looks like we're only going to be able to get 1 attack or 1 block off with them, right? Leblanc's got quick attack, which I guess is somewhat saving, but you're not going to be able to block with her. Man, yeah, I don't know. It's just so hard to evaluate. If you can get reputation off, then this could be a strong archetype. But if it's super hard, then there's no way this is going to see any play, any of these cards. Sigil of Malice is way too overpriced as a 4-cost card. A 4-cost Mystic Shot, way too expensive. And then yeah, like reputation, we're not going to be so like turn 4 even. What's the chances we have reputation? Well, I know what the chance is, probably like 0% chance of actually having this reputation keyword activated at that point. So, all right, Whispered Words, a burst speed 4-cost spell, reputation. I cost 2, draw 2 4-cost card. All right, now we're kind of getting up to the point where this is okay. So compare this to something like Pale Cascade. Pale Cascade was a super strong card. 2/1. You give a unit 2/1 for the round, draw 1, right? And that was a nerf to a 1/1. You now grant 1+1/+1 to a unit, and you draw 1. Whispered Words, no stats. You just draw 2 for 4 mana. So in order to get super good value, we want to get reputation, but like as a 4-cost card, it is a little bit too much mana for drawing 2, but it is okay, like bare minimum, just like probably below average. It's just okay. But again, like reputation, how easy is it going to be to activate? All right, another reputation card, Mimic, a burst speed 3-cost spell. Pick a spell in play or in hand and create a fleeting copy of it in hand. All right, so this is kind of a flexibility card here. And 3 mana for this is probably warranted at this point. Pick a spell in play or in hand, so it looks like you should be able to copy an opponent's spell that they're using. It has to be on the stack though, which means it can only be a fast or slow speed spell, because you're not going to be able to just copy a burst speed spell that can't use. Is this better than Spell Thief? I mean, this isn't random. So I mean, I guess there's that advantage, but I don't see this being as good as Spell Thief until we get it to the point where it costs only 1. Even then, this isn't as good as Spell Thief, because Spell Thief already only costs 1. I have no idea. It is so hard to. This is probably the hardest archetype that has ever existed to actually predict how good it's going to be. Bloody Business we've seen already, and my thoughts about Thorn of the Rose. When I'm summoned, create a Guile in hand. Please don't. Did we already look at Guile? Oh, Guile's the one that already exists, right? It's the 1-cost stun. All right. Let's see. So potential Yasuo synergy here with this card. 5 attack damage, but 1 health. I like see what they're doing here, but I think the meta that they're introducing again is just going to be so much control. How are we going to actually, attack with this 5-drop or this 3-drop with 5 damage when it only has 1 health? Yeah, it's not going to be good to start out with. I think either they're going to have to buff it, or we're going to have some sort of nerf to the other cards in order for these to see play. That's my prediction here, and that finishes up all of the cards here that we're getting for LeBlanc, it looks like. But Mirror Image, This is just a token card, so the only way to get this is if you level up LeBlanc, and this was probably the saving grace of all of these cards that actually had potential use, like I said in Hecarim deck. But in order to get this, we're going to have to run LeBlanc with him. Um, Not main deckable. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard for me to evaluate. I'm sorry. The cards seem interesting themselves. They are all overpriced, but that's kind of the deal with reputation, is that they all are buffed at some point in the game where you've attacked with your 5 drops or 5 attack cards. I keep saying 5 drops. So this could be a really good archetype if we end up getting if we end up, if control isn't a thing. But I don't have any hopes for that at all. I mean, how would it feel to get your 3 drop chump block by a 1 drop? And we do end up having 5 attack damage on this, so I mean, it would go towards leveling up LeBlanc and getting reputation, but I mean, you're spending so much more mana for this. Alright, so maybe that's what it's supposed to be, is kind of like this mana investment for later on in the game. I could kind of see that happening, but that's just with our spells. There's one card I think in the Sivir lineup here that has a reputation that reduces its cost, but everything else that has reputation is a spell. So early on in the game, we're sacrificing like trades with lower cost units, right, for these higher drops, and then later on in the game, we kind of make that back up once we have met reputation. Then all of a sudden, we get value out of our spells and our mana. So that's kind of like the best that I can make out of this. At the moment, once again, I got, if we got spells or anything that can take these units out, it completely undermines our entire deck build, and I just don't see it working. Let's go ahead and look at these cards that I'm talking about. Just in this recent expansion, we have Kindred. Kindred's Spirit Journey itself will stop LeBlanc from leveling up. We have Spiritfire. Give enemies -2 this round and deal 2 to me. So not only is it going to be killing all of those units, when they do attack you, they're not dealing 5 damage anymore, right? So like they're not doing anything to get the reputation activate, and they're going to be dying at the end of the round. We have Lissandra, Ice Shard. She's producing those, and you could main deck this, deal 1 damage to everything. Oh man. Yeah, just a lot of stuff here that we've gotten recently that's going to be able to stop this sort of archetype. Barriers with Demacia and Renekton, that I think will stop damage from actually taking place. We've got one more, Rite of Dominance as well. I think I went past that, but you guys remember Rite of Dominance. From Shurima, kill an ally or destroy one of your mana gems to give all enemies -2 this round. So the same sort of thing. Just seems like way too many people are going to be using sort of control metas at the beginning of this expansion, which is going to really limit the use of reputation. I just don't see it being a good archetype at the moment, but maybe later on, maybe we get some more synergy. I personally thought that Pyke was going to be the champion that we got instead of LeBlanc. I think he is on the bounty board in Bilgewater, so if that's not a reputation, I don't know what is. Maybe he will have it when they end up releasing it, and we'll get a few more reputation cards to make sense with this. But as it stands, I don't see this being a good archetype. Hopefully it will prove me wrong. And a lot of these cards here just seem a little bit too expensive. And also keep in mind, Bloody Business does not even get a reputation discount. It's always going to be 4 mana. And that's just, single combat is just so much better. An ally with 5 or more power strikes an enemy. Let's look up. An ally and an enemy strike each other. Okay, I wasn't giving it enough credit. So this is your unit attacks another unit, and they don't get hit back. So this is a lot better that way. This is a lot better. 10 times better now that they don't take damage. So, okay, I take it back. Bloody Business is an okay card now. All right, that's about it for this review here. A little bit less than impressed with Reputation. Give me, you guys, your thoughts. If I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. Tell me also what kind of decks you could see Leblanc, Black Rose Spy, an interesting card as well, fitting into. I gave my idea of the Hecarim deck. You guys come up with something else. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks.